Welcome to the While You Were Working podcast, presented by Rogue Marketing. When you're responsible for revenue, it's hard to look up from the work, but while you're doing your day job, the market shifts. While You Were Working is where we turn today's trends into tomorrow's strategies. Welcome to While You Were Working.
Welcome to While You Were Working, the podcast for revenue accountable business leaders wanting to stay ahead of the curve. I'm Chip Rosales, managing partner of Rogue Marketing. Rogue is a strategic marketing agency that helps clients defend their marketing spend. We're business builders who carry a marketing toolbox, and I'm so glad you're joining us. You know, it's hard to keep up with the trends and insights shaping business when you're busy driving growth. That's why we regularly sit down with revenue accountable leaders, unpacking their experience and sharing actionable insights. The world moves fast while you're working, and today's guest is at the forefront of finding and quickly moving late model, low mileage, pre-owned vehicles. I'm joined today by Richard Walsh. He leads Auto Locators of Texas, and he oversees the revenue growth of a near 30-year-old dealership that's aiming to change the car buying experience and help people across the nation come in contact with the car that they're looking for. Now, I wanted to talk to you for two reasons. One, I always appreciate a business model that's kind of low on margins, it's tight, that's doing it well. Number one. And number two, I happen to have a senior, you know that, who's looking for that perfect truck, and he's I don't think he can afford it yet, right, yeah. But he's definitely looking. And so again, you're just such an exciting person to talk about this with today. So thank you for being here.
Awesome, thank you for having the opportunity.
All right, well, how do you describe what Auto Locators of Texas is doing and why you're so different?
So typically, we started this almost 26 years ago, and I started it with my dad kind of in the back of a garage restoring cars. When I was turning 16, all my friends were getting brand new cars, and my dad's like, I don't know who you think you are, you're not getting a brand new car. So first car I got was $3,000. I bought that, sold that, bought another car about 2 months later, sold that, made a little profit. I'm like, I kind of had a niche for this. So kind of got into the business. There was no school to teach me how to do it, so I just kind of started doing it. But after years and years, we kind of got the same kind of just feeling from these customers that would come in and just said, you know what, this is such a refreshing, easy experience. We don't have the high pressure salespeople, they're very laid back. And obviously everything's changed from when I started to what it is now, but our whole deal is we just kind of wanted to be more laid back, a non-pressure, no hassle experience, and kind of get you in and out quick and feel like you still got a great deal, but we're at a place you trusted and wanted to go back to.
As a business leader, what would you say is the best part of what you get to do in this new industry you found?
The new thing is just meeting a bunch of people. I've got people who are 70, 80-year-old people needing a newer van or need a handicap van. I've got people that are looking for a fun weekend car. We want a convertible, we want a Jeep. I've got people who are taking road trips, want something, and I got the couple, like you said, who's turning 16 that want to get something for their son or daughter that's reliable, that's dependable, and ultimately, I've got different customers and different price points. I've got 7 or 8-year-old cars for $10,000, and I've got Ferraris we just sold for 90 and Bentleys for 150. So we have very different categories based on what the person is looking for. But overall, I just like meeting all the people and kind of hearing their backstory and ultimately why are they here? Is it because you just got in a car accident or your car's beyond repairs? Or, hey, we've had this car 10 years, we're coming to you for some suggestions and some recommendations of what we can get into.
Get to help in a moment.
Yeah, get to help them, and you feel accomplished and satisfied, and they leave and they come back, or they tell friends at work, church, temple, neighborhood, and we grow our business, and that's the best thing that we have is when someone takes the time to refer them, because we know there's a lot of choices out there when you're buying a car, whether it's from another private individual or another franchise dealership, and being an independent, when they come back to us and keep coming back and tell people, that's just a huge compliment to us and what we try to change in that whole business model.
Well, speaking of just growing your business, I mean this whole show is about growing revenue and how people are doing that. Right. What are some of the priorities you have on how you're growing revenue, and what are you looking to do to help the business grow revenue?
That's a great question. For so long, probably up until the last 2 years, it was just typically we go buy cars at the lease return sales, at the auctions, take them back, get them all cleaned up, detailed, serviced, and then roll the dice and hope the 10 cars we just bought make money. Maybe 5 make money, 2 break even, 3 lose. But what I think we should be buying doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly what the customers are looking for. And a lot of the stuff is seasonal, where we know Jeeps and convertibles are going to pick up and sell in the summertime. We know the minivans and the big SUVs are going to pick up summer as well if people are road tripping, 4-wheel drives during wintertime. But ultimately, we kind of stepped back and said, how else can we make internal revenue? Because our nut's the same. Our insurance is the same, our lease is the same, my kind of salary's the same, but how can we internally make more money with the same spend?
Yeah, so what did you decide?
So we decided we need to concentrate on our service, body shop, hail repair, and all the extra things that we can do for our clients and their friends.
Well, do you think there's a business principle that maybe once upon a time it worked, made everything go great, but that just doesn't work anymore?
I think, yeah, I mean, I think if you're in that dealership realm of like the franchise store, you assume they're going to try to come back, but what we found is a lot of people when they're buying a new car, they'll typically take it back to the dealership the first 3 years if it's under warranty, or the first 4 to 5 years depending on if it's a Highline car. But after that, the big stores are typically more expensive to get all your repairs done. So either people just skimp out on doing some of that stuff because they try to stretch a 3,000 mile oil change to 6,000 miles. And some of these newer cars, you don't have to do an oil change for a whole year or 10,000 miles. But you're not getting your tires checked for pressure, like every three months or every 3,000 miles like you used to. So now your one or two tires was running low on air pressure, so now you got to go buy tires sooner. But we found out during COVID when prices were so expensive that a lot of people said, I can't afford an extra $10,000 for a car, so I'm just going to go put $2 or $3 grand into my car and just roll the dice, till there's availability. Yeah, till there's availability or more selection out there.
All right, Richard. Well, I imagine in your business, speed really matters. A car could be there and then it's not. There's this desire to, I'm an impulse buyer and I need to buy it, et cetera. So how are you using speed to your advantage?
So when we purchase a car, whether it's a trade-in that comes in or we get it from the auction or lease return sale, we kind of want to get that car online as quick as possible. On the flip side, you don't want to miss any huge items like servicing or cut any corners. You want to make sure it shows good. So to hurry up and get a car, get pictures on the internet, and some of these pictures are pretty detailed. You've got 40 pictures and they're real big close-ups. So if you hurry up and get a car because you want it up over the weekend and it comes in on Wednesday and it's still showing a dent and it's still showing stains on the thing, someone's going to look at that at 10 o'clock at night and be like, oh, well, we're not interested in that car. So ideally, we'd like to get the car up as quick as possible without cutting and compromising any quality or maintenance issues. The last thing we want to do is hurry up, get a car online, sell it, and then 2 days later they call us that the brakes are making a noise or a check engine light comes on or something of that sort. And as you said, a lot of it is an impulse decision. If someone comes out and it's a great summer day and someone's in the convertible mode to go buy a Jeep or a convertible and they pull the trigger on it, if you tell them, hey, we can find you one in 3 weeks, they may not be able to wait. Or if they're in a position where their car just got totaled or is beyond repairs, they're going to have to move quicker. But ideally, we just want to make sure we get the car, turn it quicker, but at the same time, that market can fluctuate.
Yeah, so speed for you is a balance.
Correct, yeah.
Yes, get it out.
But not compromise the quality. Yep.
Not compromise the quality. I love that. We were talking a lot about the COVID environment. AI is changing people's behaviors. The way we search online is different. How are you adapting to changing customer behaviors? So
during COVID, we were wide open. We were on vacation, and we got a notification that hey, Dallas is shutting down, and we were still open because we were continued a business that could stay open during that time. Well, we had people coming in with really no intention to buy a car because they had no work for 3 weeks. Like, hey, we'll go look at cars. So then I realized we don't want to put my staff at arm's way for being injured or being sick or getting a disease, and we had to sanitize each car after a test drive, stuff like that. So we kind of shut our doors and we did everything kind of virtual or online. My challenge was it was a little bit different because we didn't have that personable one-on-one conversation. And as we're finding, especially the younger generation, they want everything quick. They want it yesterday, just like Amazon. You want to be able to hit 2 clicks so it's delivered, and then you're annoyed because it shows up 1 day later versus the 2 day or it will be there at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
That's not even for young people anymore.
No, yeah, everyone wants it quick and they want to go to the mall and go park and deal with all the other stuff. Obviously, when you're talking a bigger purchase on a car, people have to at some point go drive that car. I mean, I would suggest that obviously. So my point is if you've come to my dealership and you test drove a car, but we didn't close you or sell you the car, if you were ready, that's kind of on us that we didn't finish our business to make you buy the car.
It makes sense. It really does sound like our time today.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's searching for everything ahead of time. Yeah. We know exactly what it is that we're looking for. It sounds like it's made it to your realm
Same
as well.
Yep.
Okay, so it sounds like a little bit of that was almost accidental. Like
Sure.
you were forced into this position and you learned some of those things.
Right.
What are you doing now to stay agile and be able to pivot when these things that you don't even know what's going to happen next week comes
Yeah,
your
I
way?
mean,
What are you doing?
and the biggest topic now is the tariffs. So everyone's thinking, oh, the tariffs. Is that car really going to go up 20%? So if you're talking a $100,000 car is not going to be $120,000, and from what I've read, and most dealerships have a 60 to 70 day car supply of cars on their floor. So if the tariffs do go into effect, are all the dealerships automatically going to say, look, we're going to raise our cars 20% because we can, because if you go order one, it's going to come in 6 months, you're going to pay that new fee. So it just pushes the drive up for everything. On the used car market, it's very hard to figure out, do we stay at the same price to move quicker inventory? But on the flip side, if everything goes up 10 or 15% and we have to go source new cars, whether they're lease return sales or trade-ins and auctions, now do we have to go pay a higher premium, which we probably will, or do we raise our price? So it's just a hard balance of figuring out, like, where do we price our stuff based on the new market, based on the used market. And there's a certain time where you buy a car and it's, no matter how low the price is, there just may not be a super demand for that make or model. Every once in a while we get a car and I'm like, why is this thing not sold? I mean, we always sell these cars and then nothing. And then I take a car in on trade I don't even want, I list it, it sells in 2 days. I'm like, I don't get it. Like,
I'm fascinated by the decision-making process, though. So, okay, that scenario you just said, do we go up? Do we do
Right.
this? Do we, you're balancing all these things. How do you make that decision?
I mean, there's apps out there that you can get to, and it tells you if you scan a car based on the market, there's a 42 day supply of this car in the market, and if you buy it for this and you recondition it, meaning doing the oil change and servicing and detail, you should be able to sell it for this. Well, that's not always the case. I mean, you have to be a car guy and have the experience to know that I'm gonna have to pay a little bit more for a pearl white Lexus with tan leather, because I know that's in more demand, especially in Texas, than a burgundy with black leather. But the book doesn't tell you, well, you need to pay more or less for it. You just need to know that that's a car that's going to move quicker. And then certain cars just are like an old school Land Cruiser or old Bronco. I mean, if you look at the book value, it says it should be a $7,000 car, but we just sold one for $16,000. It's like, well, why? Because that's what people want. So, to answer your question, there are apps and books and guides to tell you here's what the car should sell for, but it doesn't take into consideration also the backstory of the car. So on paper, this car may look great, but when you do an auto check or a Carfax on the car, which is the back history, well, this one had 4 owners, airbags deployed, it's been up north, could have rust, where the one next to it is a 1 owner with great service records. Well, which one are you going to buy? And if you are going to buy the one with 4 or 5 owners and accidents, like, at what discount is that a value to you?
Okay, well, last question I was thinking about was just that I've got you in the seat. What's your advice for others who might be looking to improve revenue in their business? How do they do that?
I think logically, when you're slow and you're trying to figure out, like, how do we cut corners? Are we paying, like any CEO would say, are we paying someone for 3 people that could do the job of 2 people? And we had a point to where we had one salesperson leave, and I sat my 2 people down and I said, look, would you guys rather work harder, have more headache, work longer hours, and make more money, or would you rather me replace him with another person? And they said, look, we want to make the money. We'll work harder, we'll do whatever. I did find that there's a lot of times where when we're slow, you sit down, you kind of look at your bills, you look at your spend, and you say, do we need all these advertising platforms to list our cars? Is someone going to look on cars.com and Auto Trader and Car Gurus and Carfax Online? Or is that person probably going to still find that car and that saves you the $1,500 deal? Your premiums, like, do you have enough coverage on your insurance? You're looking at electric bill,
It's excellent.
Really,
it's great. It's a great thing. Just pay attention. Maybe look for those extra add-ons, supplemental services. Anyway, fantastic. Well, I thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on our
Perfect.
show and sharing
Well,
all those
great.
insights. It's really great. And if you're looking for that late model, that type of vehicle, and you don't know where to go, now you do.
Yes.
So
Please
we'll
give
make
us the
sure
opportunity. Absolutely.
we'll make sure that all of your socials and all of those things are part of,
Perfect.
of the program again.
Perfect.
All right. So thanks for sharing your insights
Absolutely.
on the revenue growth and sharing how you approach making business decisions. We really appreciate all of that. We're going to provide links to your LinkedIn profile, your company URL, just to make it easier for all our listeners to be able to find you. And of course, if you have a specific make or model that you're looking for, now you know a team to call.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up, I want to jump into something we call quick takes. All right, so what's a quality that every great leader must have?
I think patience and understanding. Like if your employee comes in and says, hey, my kid has a performance at 5 o'clock, I need to leave early. Okay, no problem. As long as it's not abused. Same thing with the sick policy. If you're not feeling well, great. I'd rather you tell me you're not feeling sick than come in and be underperforming the whole time. Yeah, exactly.
All right. What about a metric that's overrated?
I think how much you have to work to make a profit. Like, I think you have to work smarter, but people think the longer you stay in the office, the more income you'll make, the more profitable you'll be. But a lot of times, if you're just efficient with the right team, I don't think you have to work that hard.
All right. Well, I think I have the right guy in the chair for this question. Okay. American or foreign?
I want to say American. They're getting better, but you just can't beat the Toyotas or the Hondas for longevity, reliability, and overall experience. But America's getting there, slowly but surely.
All right, so here's one of my favorite questions. What's a book, a podcast, or a resource that you swear by?
I love how I built this. It's fun. It's interesting seeing some of the stories between SoulCycle and how they kind of had much bigger problems than we have, but just how you navigate through those struggles and challenges and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a great one. Yeah. We highly recommend that one as well.
It's a fun one.
All right, well, I appreciate you being here. Thanks
Perfect.
again.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Today's guest reminded us how quickly a used car buyer can go from browsing to buying, or completely missing out. It's a high-speed game, which is why I found this pair of articles on search behavior especially timely. The first asks a bold question. Are Google's AI overviews good or bad for brands? The answer? It depends. According to the data, AI overviews are helping users find what they need faster, which sounds great, unless your brand gets buried in the process. The infograph shows that nearly half of users feel AI overviews improve search, but 33% are clicking fewer links because of it. That means fewer chances to engage unless you're surfaced in the summary itself. That tees up the second article, which was from MediaPost. It reports that Google searches are up 49% year over year. Analysts point to the rollout of AI overviews as a key driver, suggesting that users are engaging more often because they're getting smarter and more streamlined results. AI integration won't be lessening anytime soon. So, for every business, the message is clear. If buyers are moving faster, your content, your inventory, and your communication needs to move faster too. Visibility, it's no longer enough. Relevance, at the moment of decision, that's everything. A link to this article is posted in the show notes. We'd also invite you to follow us on social media. Search Rogue Marketing on Facebook and X, or Rogue Marketing Agency on LinkedIn. We're regularly sharing insights and articles that you may have missed, while you were working. See you next time.